We've got a host of incredible speakers that want to share their love for Pete and what he's done in the fight to find a cure for ALS. I'm going to bring up my co-author, Dave Wedge, to make the first introduction.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let's hear it again for Pete. So I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and I'd like to introduce a man who really needs no introduction here. Mayor Walsh has been a great advocate for Pete. He happens to be a Boston College alumni, which we all love here, especially Pete and his family. And Mayor Walsh has been such a great supporter of everything that Pete has done. So with that, I'd like to bring up Mayor Walsh for a proclamation.
Thank you, David, and I want to thank you, Casey, as well. Before I get into the proclamation, a few things I want to give. First of all, I want to thank Nancy, Pete's mom, and Julie, Pete's wife. Thank you very much for what you guys do. We were up in our office kind of messing around, just talking, and then Pete's mom comes in and goes, okay, let's go. And we just left, so I want to thank you. And also Pete's dad's here and family, I want to thank them all. We're joined by the Red Sox. Sam Kennedy, the president of the Boston Red Sox. Thank you, Sam. Tom Warner, I want to thank you, Tom, as well, from the Boston Red Sox, who've been such incredible partners here with the Frates Foundation and within the city of Boston. And we have the Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Robert Manafort, with us today as well. So thank you, Commissioner, for being with us today. I want to thank the Boston College Eagle baseball team. Thank you. Go Eagles behind us. The ALS community as well. Thank you that are here today, all of you from the ALS community. And I want to thank the elected officials that joined us today. City Councilors Michael Flaherty, City Councilor Nisa Sabi George, City Councilor Sala Martina, and City Councilor Billy Lenahan. Thank you very much for being with us today. And most important, I want to thank Pete Frates for being with us today here at City Hall Plaza. I was asked this morning by a media outlet what Pete Frates means to Boston and means to the Commonwealth and means to the country. And it's impossible to overstate the impact Pete Frates has made on our city, especially the youth of our city. We teach kids about character and courage, and we look for role models for them to understand. Here in Boston and certainly in Massachusetts, we don't need to point to any heroes or movies and storybooks, because we're lucky enough to have a real life hometown hero in our midst, the great Pete Frates. We all look up to Pete. He certainly has had a major impact on me and many of us that are here today, clearly. We have a friendship that goes back many years. He has taught me and us about living well and understanding the power of community. This is the spirit of our city, and this is the spirit our country needs right now to continue to move forward. And when Pete and his family got the idea for the Ice Bucket Challenge, I really want to thank them for that. They didn't know how big it would get. How could they have known it would become such a huge fundraiser and become such a movement? Right where you are standing right now, the people in front of us, we had about 400 people, I think it was, that day, doing the Ice Bucket Challenge right there when we got challenged by Governor Baker. I think we did it better than they did at the state, but that's all right. That's just me just saying it. But what it showed us was ordinary people can make a difference. And it shows when you have a great idea, you can have a rippling effect that reaches far beyond any one individual. Pete, you've changed our city for the better. You've made a difference in countless number of people's lives. You've helped us remember that in the end, we are one family and that we have to look out for each other. And there's no telling how much good you've set in motion. So on behalf of the city of Boston and all of us here today, I want to thank you on improving the lives of those struggling with this disease, for getting us closer to a cure, for pushing us all to live every single day. And it's my honor I'm not going to read the whole proclamation, but it's my honor to officially proclaim today Pete Frates Day in the city of Boston. And I urge all my fellow Bostonians in joining me in recognizing and thanking Pete Frates for his dedication towards raising awareness and ultimately finding a cure for ALS.
How about another round of applause from Mayor Walsh? Thank you very much. Incredibly heartfelt words from a true friend of Pete Frates. Now I would like to introduce the Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Mr. Robert Manfred.
I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be here with Pete and the Frates family to celebrate Pete Frates Day here in Boston. It is a well-deserved honor for really a great American. Everyone knows about the bond between baseball and ALS because of Lou Gehrig, because of other great players like Catfish Hunter that we lost to the disease. And because of that bond, we've tried to be supportive of the amazing efforts that Pete and his family and his foundation have undertaken. For me, that bond was personal. The very first week after I was elected, I stood on Park Avenue with Joe Torre and 400 employees at Major League Baseball, and we took the Ice Bucket Challenge. And I'm a huge believer in the idea that when you become involved with great people, good things happen. So not only did we play a small part in raising what I think was ultimately $200 million through the Ice Bucket Challenge, but it paid back for our organization. The Ice Bucket Challenge was a unique opportunity for our organization to come together, to bond, and it's really something that will always stay with me. As successful as the Ice Bucket Challenge was, it's really important that we not lose sight of the fact that we need to continue to raise money. We need to continue to make sure that the best minds are working on getting a cure for ALS. But it's also important that families be able to care for victims of ALS before we find that cure. That's why we were honored to join with the Frates Foundation and announced earlier this year the Home Health Initiative to help families deal with the crippling costs associated with caring for victims of ALS. It's another example of the tremendous work that the ALS group and the Frates family has done in this space. So in closing, I'd just like to congratulate again Pete, your entire family for the great work that's been done, and I hope you enjoy today as much as you should. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Manfred, thank you very much. A few more folks would be remiss if we didn't recognize State Rep Kevin Hornan and Police Commissioner Billy Evans. So, Pete, anyone that's followed Pete's story knows how much of a Red Sox fan he is, how much he loves the Red Sox, how much he loves baseball. So when we were putting this whole event together, we needed some star power. So naturally, Pete was the one that got it done, and Pete was able to get the next two gentlemen that I'd like to introduce. We have here with us from the Red Sox, Sam Kennedy and Tom Werner.
Thank you. The mayor said it very succinctly. When we think about Pete, we think about his character and his courage. And he's been a great role model for all of us, and we appreciate all of you being here on this very special day for Pete and his family. The Red Sox, as you know, have a great relationship with Pete. He did his own Ice Bucket Challenge at Fenway Park, and the bucket is now going to be enshrined forever in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. So Pete is himself the Hall of Famer. The Red Sox also want to thank the mayor today for the way that the mayor has embraced Pete Frates and his family and offered Boston's support in Pete and everyone's ongoing battle against ALS. We are all deeply honored to be here, and we thank the mayor for his great leadership. And this is a great day. We also want to tell everyone how thankful we are that the commissioner has made it his effort to come here today. The commissioner has led the fight in baseball, taking up the launch, as he said, of the Pete Frates Home Health Initiative. And those of you in baseball know that from the very first day he moved in, the heroic example of Lou Gehrig's fight against ALS has been a very important focus for Rob and MLB in general. So thank you, Rob, for coming here today. And finally, we want to wish Lucy Frates happy birthday today. Lucy's turned 3 last week, and for us, Lucy symbolizes the determination of Pete and Julie, and Lucy is here today to honor her dad. So thank you all for coming.
Well, it's never good to follow eloquent speakers like the mayor, the commissioner of baseball, but then to have to follow your boss is not ideal. Thank you, Tom. Just on behalf of the Red Sox, I want to echo what Tom said about the Frates family. You guys are our family, and you will be forever. John, Nancy, Julie, Lucy, Pete, Andrew. We love you guys, and Fenway Park is always going to be your second home. So thank you for including us today. Pete Frates Day in Boston. How great does that sound? I also want to thank the mayor. We've gotten to work very closely with Marty Walsh these last 4 years, and no one cares about the residents of Boston the way Marty does. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for all you do for all citizens of Boston, and we appreciate you inviting us here today. The last time our group was assembled, the commissioner and the mayor and Tom and I was at Fenway Park, and it was to honor David Ortiz on his retirement. And I remember all of us nodding our heads in agreement that David Ortiz might not have been the greatest player to ever play for the Boston Red Sox, but he was the most important player to play for the Red Sox, given what he did on the field and what he did off the field. And while Steve Buckley of the Boston Herald is a columnist, we might not always agree with him. On July 6, he wrote a column in which he proclaimed that Pete Frates is the most important athlete in Boston sports history for what he's done for people with ALS. So I want to agree with Steve Buckley and acknowledge that Pete belongs on the Mount Rushmore of sports with Larry Bird, David Ortiz, Bobby Orr, Tom Brady, and all the greats for the courage, the fearless nature with which you've attacked this disease. We are all in awe of you, Pete, and we love you. Thank you very much.
Sam Kennedy and Tom Werner, everybody. Thank you. Now, our next speaker has made an incredible impact on my co-author Dave Wedge and I when we were asked by the Frates family to help him with his book, The Ice Bucket Challenge. We got to meet Pete, and we also got to meet his wonderful family. And we knew that here's a young man who is at war with his own body, and he uses what could be a death sentence for anybody else as a rallying cry to change the world, and that's exactly what he's done. But we also realized that this is a love story. It's a love story of a young man and his parents, John and Nancy, his loving brother, Andrew, his sister, Jennifer, and of course, our next speaker, the true love of Pete Frates' life, his wife, Julie Frates.
Wow, happy Pete Frates Day, guys. It's gonna take a little bit to get him off of this high horse. In all seriousness, though, I want to thank Mayor Walsh for having us here today to celebrate Pete. Anyone who knows Pete knows how much the city of Boston truly means to him. Not just as an avid sports fan, but as the community that has showed us continued and unwavering support through our journey with ALS. Without this city, there would be no Ice Bucket Challenge phenomenon, and this disease wouldn't have been put on the map like it has been. Pete and I are so proud to call Boston our home, and what a more humbling way to be recognized than a day dedicated to Pete in our beloved city. I have a few words from Pete that he asked me to share. However, this disease being what it is, Pete was unable to finish writing his thoughts and conveniently stopped off with the words, "And now to my wife, Julie." So forgive me for my creative license here. Good afternoon, Freight Train. Thank you for coming out today. Hopefully your boss let you take a long lunch, and I hope it's a very liquid one. I have to start by thanking Mayor Walsh and his team for putting this amazing day together. I'd also have to thank my friend, Commissioner Rob Manfred, for taking the time to be here. Since day one, he has fought right beside me in accepting my challenge to make ALS baseball's disease. So thanks again, Mr. Commissioner. Now, to my wife, Julie, thank you for all you do. Because I love you so much, you can watch Real Housewives whenever you want and have unlimited access to our Amazon Prime account. Right, Pete? I just want to thank you all for being here, and I know Pete is more than humbled and grateful that the city that we love so much is recognizing him today. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Pete. I'm sure you wrote that. Our next speaker is someone that when Casey and I were writing this book, we were just blown away with the strength of the whole family, but really the pace that she lives her life. Pete's mom, Nancy, has become one of the leading advocates in the country for the fight against ALS. She's been before the FDA. She's traveling literally around the world to raise awareness to this disease. And we should all thank her for that, because it's a big part of why we wrote this book and why the Ice Bucket Challenge exists, is to continue to raise awareness and continue to drive the research initiative. So with that, Nancy Frates.
What a special day for our family. Thank you, Mayor Walsh, and our beautiful city of Boston. Sam and Tom, our family, the Boston Red Sox. What can we say? You've been by our side, not just since 2014 when the whole world stood up and took notice of ALS, but since our family's life changed in a minute. Commissioner Manfred, to have you here is the achievement of a goal set by a student of baseball from Beverly, Mass, who when handed this diagnosis, articulated his vision with clarity and conviction, which included getting Major League Baseball to reignite its commitment to the disease that has been known by one of its greatest players, Lou Gehrig. Thank you all for celebrating with our family today. When I get asked how I do what I do, there's only one answer that I give. I'm a mother. The unconditional, enduring, powerful love a mother has for her children can empower anything. In our case, it helped change the world. Pete and our family have received many, many beautiful honors, but the best honor, the most powerful reward, is that we have been given, what we have been given is the now real promise that no other family, no mother, father, child, husband, wife, brother, or sister ever have to have the beast, ALS, take their loved one. When Pete was diagnosed, he saw an unacceptable situation, and he told us we were given an opportunity to change the world. With his leadership, we set out to alter the trajectory of a disease that was unheard of, underfunded, and not included. And we did it, rooted in love and focus. So for all you moms, you keep empowering your children by telling them that they can do anything they want to do or be anything they want to be. And for you children, listen to Pete's words and use them as inspiration as you continue on your journey. Be passionate, be genuine, be hardworking, and don't ever be afraid to be great. Thank you all for being here.
As you can see, it's the love of a family, isn't it? And that love has spread through 150 countries around the world. Think about these numbers for a moment. 14 billion people have viewed those videos, those Ice Bucket Challenge videos on Facebook alone. The impact that Pete Frates has had, that his family has had, that everyone here has had, because we've all become part of Pete's team. He calls the team Team Freight Train, and I think we're all a member of that very giving group. Before we say goodbye today, we would like to present the mayor and our guest speakers with some swag that Pete himself has designed. This is Pete's book t-shirt that Pete designed for Mayor Walsh. Thank you, Mayor. And we'll be presenting these copies of Ice Bucket Challenge. Again, Pete's story, 50% of all the proceeds go directly to Pete's care. So as Pete continues to pay it forward, so will we as authors, and I hope you do as readers as well. Thank you all for coming. Have a great day. Pete Frates Day in Boston.